What's going on, YouTube? Today we're going to be giving you guys a video on how to price check your items. It is a super common question that you guys have for me, and I wanted to make a comprehensive video that kind of goes over all of the different add-ons, the support features for Xbox, PlayStation, PC, how you can price check an item, how you know how to appraise your items, knowing the difference between traits, knowing the difference between rarity. So I wanted to kind of give you guys a quick video on that. We are still doing our little bit of an intro section where we invade somebody's house. Props to you guys if you can recognize your house being invaded. But remember to like the video. If you would like to be entered into the giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe for the first one, leave a comment for the second one. That's all I ask for either or. And let's jump into the video. So our adventures in price checking will first take us to Mournhold, specifically inside of Deshawn. Now, I wanted to also kind of quickly break down the trading capitals and how they're different between PlayStation and PC. Basically, the three #1 trading spots on console are Wayrest, Mournhold, which is where we are, and Eldenroot. Specifically with Mournhold and Eldenroot being the better of the two, Mournhold being #1, then Eldenroot, then Wayrest. But if you actually play on PC, Vivek City is actually one of the #1 traders in the game, specifically these little bad boys right here. So just to consider that. However, Mournhold is also very popular inside of that as well. And on console, sometimes Craglorn gets a really nice bit of boost, and there's a decent bit of trading there. But you won't have to know the specifics for that for this video. I just wanted to point that out, that there is a bit of a difference between the consoles. So let's say you have an item. Let's say you're looking for perfect row and you want to know how to appraise it. So my suggestion is always you're going to want to search the item inside of these, and then you're going to want to pay attention to a couple different things. That being stack size, how many you're listing, how many different people are listing it. You can see that there's only one person listing it in this trader here. We're starting off with gold materials because I think gold materials are a really easy kind of item to talk about. They don't have traits, they don't have quality, obviously, like they are the quality that they are, and they're used by the community. So this is also a great thought experiment. You can see there's only one being sold here. This is a great thought experiment too, because if you're going through Mournhold, for example, and you notice that there's not a whole lot of something being listed, list it. You will see though that there is a little bit more in these other traders, but you can see that there's a bit of a difference between stack sizes here. You can see there's a little bit of a difference between that. But I would say overall, we just checked that item, it's about 20,000 gold. The second way that we could check for that same item is I'm in 4 Mournhold traders. I love them all semi-equally. And we can go straight down to purchases, and we can see the sales for all of these items. In fact, look, a perfect row has sold for 20,000 6 minutes ago, which is actually perfect for this video because this was unscripted. So you could say then 20,000 gold is the appraised value of this item. Bing, bang, boom. Next one. And I would caution everyone just slightly. It's kind of like going into a Target or a Walmart. If you have, I don't know if they have those. I don't think Target exists abroad, but anywho, it's like going into a big box store, like a cheap one, and seeing a T-shirt for $8 and a bunch of people buying it, and that same T-shirt selling in Target or like a slightly higher end big box store for double the price, but it's still selling. So just because something's sold for that price doesn't mean that it can't sell for more. It also technically doesn't mean that they were being, getting the best deal either. So just keep those 2 points in mind. But now let's start talking about something that's a little more complicated. So let's talk right now. We've got all these Opal pages. Everyone's got, all these Opal pages that they've been getting. You get 1 gold, 1 a day guaranteed. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. A lot of these look pretty neato, burrito. How do you price check these? Well, you have to start considering a couple other things when it comes to some of these more complicated items, like these Opal pages, for example. So let's talk about that. Opal pages are event themed. You guys know that because you guys are doing the event right now. And what does that mean? That means that everyone is throwing these on the market right now. Everyone is flooding the market with these bad boys, and this is the only time that you're going to be able to get these. So what does that mean? That means that right now people are selling them at a huge rated discount. In fact, I would say, just compared to last year and the year before that, a lot of people are fairly appraising these items, whereas the year before, a lot of people were listing these significantly under their value, and people were just sniping these. Where right now, people are actually getting a fair portion of their value. So you may be wondering about how long will they go back to their normal equated value, and how should I price check these items now? Well, it's the same concept. We would just, pick one of these. We'll pick a random opal page here. Head on over to the opal. You can see that there's quite a few. Let's just pick one at random. Let's say we had the Vertvo. Now, this is an interesting item because you can actually buy this with event tickets, but this is also a brand new item for this year. And you can see that there's people basically undercutting the shit out of each other to sell this item. Specifically in that trader, which is interesting because then in that trader that we had just looked at next to it, there's not as much listed. You can see that this is a common trend when people are listing their items. So, for example, I am in this guild, so I could, I may, when I'm just listing my items, look in this one and then undercut everyone inside of it. That's something that I want you guys to consider is that people will undercut each other. But you don't have to be the cheapest one to sell an item. For example, somebody may come through and buy two of these, or these two may sell in the next 12 hours, and then these two will be the cheapest, and so on and so forth. So it's not always about straight undercutting everybody to kind of get your items in. But now let's pivot to something like Mara's Balm. And for those of you who are wondering, because I get asked this a lot, how long until I think the opal pages will get their main normal, million gold valuation back? Probably in a month or two. And what I haven't kind of hit on yet, as much as you may have been wondering about, is like those price checking apps. And the reason I haven't been doing that is because I always have those in the description for my videos. And it's a bit redundant for me to just pull up the price checking app and be like, well, here's how you price check everything. Because this is mainly for people who can't price check because they're on a console that doesn't allow it. Or they just, don't want to use a bot. Or they don't have Discord. Or they don't have the ability to get an add-on. So that's kind of why I'm skipping over the usage of those, because if you want to have those, they're in the description to all my videos. Go ahead and take a look at them. But let's head on back here and let's talk about something that's brand new, like Mara's Balm. We'll run over here, look up Mara. Now, this is another good example also with the new furnishing plans with the release of Update 35, because we are able to also get brand new things from there as well. So let's just say we were looking at probably the weapons. I actually have a great sword. Is this mine? It's not mine. I actually also have a great sword listed for 200,000. But let's say we were looking at Amara's Balm weapon. Now here's where I might get to the point where I'm like, now you may want to consider being on the cheaper end of the items, because, for example, people are going to be getting these and binding these to their sticker books and then not needing them anymore. So for those of you who remember when Dark Convergence came out, it was hugely profitable to basically farm and get Dark Convergence and sell it for like a 12-hour period. The Fire Staff sold for like 1,000,000 gold on Xbox, which is huge because many things. I mean, you can see this Mara set, which is ridiculous. The highest put item on here is only 500k, but now it's worth pennies on the dollar because everyone has it bound to their sticker book, which is important because the sticker book has completely changed the market. And for those of you who get confused when I talk about a sticker book, let's just pull up an example here. So for example, I own and use the spinner set. Let's say I needed a fire staff. Well, I could purchase a fire staff, or I could just reconstruct one for 32 transmutes, which is why I'm going to be significantly less likely to whip out, 1,000,000 gold and pay for a spinner staff. But before we were able to transmute things, getting a perfectly traded item used to be very lucrative because, it would be perfectly traded. Now, you could just pay a transmute fee and get everything switched over. And you can see I've got 835 transmutes. So that's where it becomes like that's why set items don't sell as much as they used to when they're older. But brand new ones generally do sell pretty significantly for a while. It's the same with furnishing recipes. Once a good majority of the server has that in their sticker book, like if they know how to make the plan, it's not going to be worth as much as it is. Now, because you handsome fellows have stayed around to this point of the video, There is something that I also want to point out to you. When I'm going through more and hold, I generally check for a bunch of separate things. That could be basically just gaps in the market. This is kind of how I know when I need to farm. And one of the number one things that I will do is I'll just check through different things. Like I might be wondering like how much Dragon Blood and Dragon Bile is on the market right now. And I can see like, okay, there's really not a whole lot of Dragon Realm. There's actually none listed in this trader, and Dragon Bile is only a handful. So I may go to myself, I mean, I would go check all of them, but I'm not going to go through that whole process with you because you guys get the idea. But this is a great way to look and see, like, dragons, are a needed resource to be slain. Because they're super important for end game potions. Well, I should go farm some dragons to make some gold. It's the same with the perfect row concept. You're always going to want to consider things like quantity, quality, and then what it's used for. Why it's important is for example, if you have a Spinner's Inferno staff, you have that Spinner's Inferno staff. Like you have it forever, unless you would get rid of it. But then you could reconstruct it. If you had Dragon Blood and Dragon Bile, you may use it all and then need it again. Which is why that's important is because there's going to be a constant stream of needing these items. The same with Perfect Row. It's the same with Ethereal Dust. It's the same with a lot of these consumables. So price checking consumables usually and re-ingredients usually comes down to how many are listed in the main markets and how many are selling. You can go back and check to see how they're selling right then and there. But let's just say we were looking for something particular here. Let's say we were looking for a Spinner's Inferno staff. We would punch it in, go down to weapons, and on down to destruction. Oh, God. Well, as you can see, the Spinner's Inferno staff has significantly decreased in value, and you wouldn't even be able to farm this at all. But this is an important distinction because you guys could look at this and go, they all listed by the same person? They are. What in the world? Anywho, very interesting. I did not what I was expecting when I pulled this up. Let's just pick something different. Powerful Assault. Let's say you wanted an Inferno staff of Powerful Assault or an Ice staff of Powerful Assault. You probably would use an Ice staff more than that one. And the Ice staffs are significantly valuable in this market. So you had an Ice staff of Power Assault there for 1.3 million. It's important to know though that when you get to these high-end value items, you can see that these are listed for a couple days. So you're gonna have to want to weigh that in your mind. If you're gonna match one of these items, one of these was up for 13 days. This one's been up for 15 days. What exactly, are you gonna put on your valuation of a Powerful Assault Inferno or Ice staff here? So keep that in mind too when you have like one of those lucrative weapons when you're selling it here, because that's an important distinction. Is stack size. Quality, quantity, trait is not nearly as important as it used to be, especially as all these active events are coming out. Everyone's able to farm these transmutes and get tons of transmutes, so it's not really as lucrative as it used to be. So that's going to kind of wrap up my thoughts on how to price check an item on console. Again, you can go through. I would look at all your main traders in your main cities. Again, you can also go to the other ones. I'm just showing Mournhold here for time. You can go through and you can see just specifically inside a guild, what's selling. What's actually being sold is also a great way to get a gauge of like what should you be farming, because again, like it's selling, which means people are buying it. You can see that there's people buying a lot of prismatic runes. Maybe if you have those extra prismatic runes, list them up. You can actually see there's even more prismatic runes. It's a whole bunch of them. Opal Engine Guardian Bow, ooh, that seems a little cheap, but Necropotence Ring is another really good overland set. But, oh, look, see, guys, I sold something, 8,000 gold, Ring of Powerful Assault. So that's what I want you guys to consider as you're going into these things here. I know this is a bit of a bloated video because there's a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to this, so please don't kill me. I know this is long, but this is kind of how you price check an item on your server. If you guys have specific examples, let me know. Again, huge shout out to the add-ons for PC and Xbox, specifically Tamriels Savings App. It's actually the bot that I have in my Discord, so if you guys do play on Xbox and A, what you guys can do is head on over to my Discord, type in /price, any item, and wham bam, thank you ma'am, you'll get all the information you'll need, the lowest, the highest, the average, the amount sold. It's an absolutely hugely amazing resource for you guys to use, but I hope this was helpful for everyone on all of the servers and consoles that you guys play on. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Question of the day is do you guys want a video on how to turn your undaunted keys into gold? I have had a couple questions about what you guys should be using undaunted keys on, and I was curious if you guys would be interested in an undaunted keys to gold video, but I want to wrap this video up because I know I've been talking a whole lot, so I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jake Clips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.